Center for the Ethiopian Educational Information and Communication Technology presents Educational Satellite Television Programs.
Hello, students. In our last lesson, we learned about qualitative changes during a chemical reaction, such as a change in color, size, or speed. We also learned about quantitative changes during a chemical reaction, which are changes we can measure. We used a formula to demonstrate this method in action. In today's lesson, we are going to discuss the factors that can affect the reaction rate. Let us get started. Different chemical reactions have different reaction rates. Even if two separate chemical reactions involve identical reactants, it is possible for the two reactions to have different reaction rates. If reactants are combined under different conditions, the reaction rate can vary. For example, if there is a change in temperature, concentration of the reactants, or the availability of a catalyst, the reaction rate can vary. Today, we will focus on two main factors that can affect the reaction rate during a chemical reaction: the nature of the reactants and the surface area of solid reactants. Let us start with the first factor. The reaction rate of a chemical reaction can be affected by the nature of the reactants. For example, if two oppositely charged ions are combined, the reaction rate can be quite fast. Mixing an acid with a base displays this. The reaction of hydrochloric acid, an acid with sodium hydroxide, a base, is quite fast. By contrast, the decomposition of hydrogen peroxide is much slower. This is because molecules have to be organized during the decomposition of hydrogen peroxide, which takes more time. Students, let us do an activity. Please answer the following question. If at one point two chemicals react to each other at a certain reaction rate, will those two chemicals always react at that same rate? Why?
Students, let's get ready. Time's up. Let's get back to our lesson.
Welcome back, students. What answer did you come up with? You were right to say that the reaction rate would not necessarily be the same every time. A change in conditions, such as temperature or the availability of a catalyst, could alter the reaction rate. Even reactants that are very similar can have very different reaction rates. Calcium and iron are both solid gray metals. However, when combined with water, calcium reacts moderately, while iron reacts very slowly. When substances that are physically different are mixed, such as a gas mixed with a liquid, or a liquid mixed with a solid, and form new substances, it is called a heterogeneous reaction. When substances that are physically the same are mixed, such as a gas with another gas, or a liquid with another liquid, and form new substances, it is called a homogeneous reaction. Students, let us try another activity. A chart will soon appear on the screen. Please draw lines to connect each reaction to either heterogeneous or homogeneous, depending on which type of reaction it is.
Students, let's get ready. Time's up. Let's get back to our lesson.
Welcome back, students. Did you make the right connections? Teacher, please go over this chart with the students at the end of the lesson. During heterogeneous reactions, bringing the reacting molecules, or ions, together can be difficult. However, during a homogeneous reaction, this is not a problem. In a homogeneous reaction, the molecules and ions can move and collide freely. Let us move on to another factor that can affect the reaction rate of a chemical reaction: the surface area of solid reactants. Generally, the larger the surface area is of solid reactants, the faster the reaction rate will be. A powdered reactant, for example, will usually have a faster rate of reaction than if the same reactant was all clumped together. The powder has the ability to spread out, increasing its surface area. By increasing its surface area, the powdered solid increases the chances that its particles will collide with those of another reactant. During today's lesson, we learned about some factors that affect the reaction rate of chemical reactions. These factors include the nature of the reactants and the surface area of solid reactants. Remember, students, the mixing of certain reactants, because of their nature or surface area, will cause a chemical reaction to speed up or slow down. During this lesson, we also discussed heterogeneous reactions, which is when substances that are physically different are mixed, and homogeneous reactions, which is when substances that are physically the same are mixed. It can be difficult to bring the reacting molecules or ions together during a heterogeneous reaction. It is much easier during a homogeneous reaction. This completes your lesson for today. Until next time, thank you, teacher. Thank you, students.